What's up, Dragon Brood? I got up at the crack of dawn today, or at least as what qualifies for such on the West Coast, to get up for this Wizards of the Coast recap 2021 announcement thing. We didn't know what it was going to be, some pile of announcements. Well, it turns out they announced a whole lot of things, recap some things. Just a lot of news came through. I'm going to try to cover this as fast and as cleanly as I can with my immediate reactions because I just got done in the last like 10 minutes. So let's see what we got. Okay, there's a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna try to hope I don't miss anything, because seriously, I'm not exaggerating. I think there were like 20 things, so if I missed something, I apologize. There was just like a pile of news here. But to start with, we had a little bit of discussion about organized play. I know it's not the things people want to like Pro Tour, blah, blah, whatever. Let's be honest. Let's stop with the Pro Tour talk until we get further into finding out where the pandemic's gonna be resolved or not. Bottom line, and I know people are like, I love to see it. I think it's cool. Don't get me wrong, but the reality is, there's a bunch of countries still having a hard time with COVID. Wizards is an international thing. The Pro Tour is an international thing. It wouldn't make sense. It just makes more confusion and arguments or whatever if you have a pro circuit where everybody can't participate. So that's just not going to be a thing until we have more clear news on a path for COVID. That's just the way it is. Now, they did talk about Friday Night Magic, which wasn't really a thing. We knew that was going to be still coming back. Not a big deal. Some stores are already doing it. But they did announce the return of store championships, which is pretty cool. That's something we haven't really had for a while. And this time, whenever you do it, there's going to be promos, not a surprise, but these promos actually have the store name stamped onto them. So you will get to be champion of your store with a promo that's tagged for that store, which is pretty cool because it also means if you go to multiple stores in your area, you could have promos from 3-4 different stores. Now, the interesting thing is too, I don't know what this is going to do to the long-term value of these promos, right? Because they're all going to be fairly unique. I'm assuming with each one only having 8 to 16 copies, depending on how Wizards distributes them. So that's going to make every one you get fairly unique. I don't know if that's going to matter to collectors or if there's going to be people who want to try to get one of all of them. I have no idea, but it's a cool idea. So it'd be neat to see where that goes. And other news for stuff that helps retail stores, they announced Innistrad Double Feature. Sounds like it's going to be some number of promos that you get awarded for doing a 2-set draft using Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt, so that's kind of cool. People are already going to be in Innistrad, you're going to be back at stores, and people are going to want to draft already. So overall, seems solid. I mean, thumbs up. Interesting thing, we don't really know anything about it. Maybe it has special rules or something, who knows. But it'll be an excuse for people to go to your local stores, do some drafting, get some cool cards. Historic Brawl coming to Arena finally. Well, it's already there, but they're going to make it 100 cards and it's going to be available all the time. So the 100 card thing is neat because it's as close as you're going to get to Commander to, we find some way to do multiplayer on Arena, which is probably still a long way away, if ever. But it's cool that they're actually finally making this perpetual, right? It's the thing people have talked about. I don't know why it hasn't been available for people. They've done it a couple times. It's gotten a lot of usage and a lot of play. So it's pretty cool that they're going to go ahead and move forward and just make this a forever format on Arena. So congratulations, finally, if you like playing Brawl, especially Historic Brawl. It's cool to know that this is always going to be available for you. They also talked about the Arena Opens. The Arena Opens are going to end up with a draft version. So that's kind of cool. We've done Standard, we've done Sealed, we've done Historic. Now we're going to be able to do draft as one of these events. I know it's going to really excite some players. I'm indifferent to it. Doesn't really affect me much. But I know some people who really love the draft have all been clamoring to have a draft option for the Arena Opens. Now you're going to have it. How's it going to work? I don't know. I'm assuming you just draft and then you just run out and play people. Or, I don't know, maybe they'll make pods or something. I have no clue. But at least you're going to be able to draft cards and play the Arena Open. So, congratulations. Commander Collection Black. Not really surprised. We just didn't know which color was coming. Like we've done, I think, red and we did green. So like we know they're going to go through the rest of them sooner or later. So yeah, Commander Collection Black looks like the same thing. You get one of the command towers, you get the Soul Ring, and then there was just a bunch of other cards that are pretty cool to have as part of the set. They will again come as foil and non-foil if you want them. I assume they're going to be the same price as the other two, and so be boxed the same way. I didn't see many indicators to be different. They sold well, easy to produce. They're money makers. I'm probably just going to keep doing this till we rotate through everything and maybe even come back through the colors in a couple years. Challenger decks. That was a neat piece of news to see because normally they are standard and you sort of get them around like the March, April, May timeframe. And they were good for about 6 months in standard. And this time you're getting Pioneer ones, which is kind of cool from a couple different perspectives. One, you're getting some decks that may have reprints that are kind of cool. So you get those to have if you're into Pioneer. You're going to get, I mean, just the fact that it's even just Pioneer is pretty cool that you're going to have that because it's saying Wizards is still going to have some emphasis or expectation of Pioneer being a format, which is cool because as the pandemic hit, Pioneer was just starting to catch on. And then obviously people weren't playing paper. So it's not been a thing. Cool to note there's going to be a focus on that moving forward, and there's an easy jumping on point for players. New Magic the Gathering comic. Okay. Like, I'm not really worried about this, but it is a way for people who do like story for Magic. It's pretty neat to just kind of introduce new players or people to Magic who may not even be into the cards, but they like the art and the story. So that's kind of neat. Like I said, wasn't really news for me, but again, it's a thing that appeals to a chunk of the community, so it's cool that it's out there and available. Commander Legends Baldur's Gate was announced. This one's a little bit surprising to me. I wasn't sure how soon it would be before we got another Commander Legends. Does mean that it's not coming this year. I believe it's announced for late or middle next year, I think is when we're going to see that. But, actually, no, I think they said late 2022 on that one. Man, there's so many things that got said. Either way, Baldur's Gate, I think it's pretty cool. It's a evocative world. A lot of people who've played like the video games and stuff can, have an attachment to this, which is cool. The D&D part already went over well. People like that. And it's Commander Legends. They're bringing back the etched foils that people liked. You're going to get some cool reprints, I'm sure. You're going to get some cool new stuff for Commander. Overall, I think it's a solid product. It'll sell well. Commander Legends, the previous set, actually is still kind of being sought after on the singles market. Okay, so yeah, nothing here. I think if you play Commander, it's a cool product to look out for. Jumpstart 2022 comes to paper. That's cool. It's obviously going to be different than the historic Jumpstart, whatever we're calling that, online. Doesn't have the digital option stuff, obviously. 46 different groups, they said. 20 cards. You're going to get, each one's going to come with one new card to the set. So I'm assuming there's going to be somewhere around 46 to 50 new cards. They didn't really say that, just insinuating. Yeah, I don't know. Jumpstart's good. I think it's a good jumping on point for people in paper. I think it's cool for really re-engaging players that have disconnected from the community for one reason or another. So good product. I think the first Jumpstart really didn't get a go, because of the pandemic. Hopefully by the time this Jumpstart comes out, we're far enough along that people are back to doing more normal play. And we could really see this get a lot of use because I think it's a really good product. I think it could have really good long-term ramifications. We just have to be able to use it, is the tough part. But yeah, new Jumpstart 2022. Another reprint product that's going to be coming out is Double Masters 2022. And, people's reaction, like some people are upset, some people are excited. I think, yes, they're expensive packs. They get 2 rares and 2 foils per. I'm assuming because the last one was such a success, they're going to do basically everything the same. So I would think we're going to see box toppers again and stuff like that. Maybe even what did we call them? The VIP boosters, I think. They were like the $100 boosters. Overall, I know some people look at the price and go like, this is terrible. It's a money grab, whatever. But let's be honest. If you are looking for a lot of those older cards and you like playing Commander or even just kitchen table Magic, that did a good job for bringing some of those prices down and making some of those things affordable. There were cards that were $40 that you can find now for like 15 to 18 bucks, right? I mean, for as much as people may not like it, it's actually kind of good for the community. If you don't want to buy the packs, don't buy the packs. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're just looking to buy some of the singles, then just go pick up the singles. But I think this is a cool product to have available. I think it's going to sell well. I also think it's good for keeping prices in check for a lot of these things in the community. So I'm in favor of Double Masters too. So we'll see how it goes over. But yeah, that's coming next year also. Unfinity. So this is the 4th installment of Unsets. I believe that's correct. Maybe it's not. No, this is the 5th one. Either way, Unsets. For those who don't know, if you're new to Magic, Unsets are kind of like the comically done silver border, not tournament legal just weird things you can do in Magic that are kind of fun and different or whatever that don't necessarily make for good balanced game mechanics. Some of them don't involve balancing mechanics at all. Well, some have you like balance things on your hands and other silly things. At the end of the day, though, I think this is okay. I think it fills a need for part of the community. Not necessarily my jam, but the cool thing is they are going to have full art lands that are space themed. So if you're into that, cool. You'll have some neat lands you can play with. They did also announce there will be shock lands. For those who don't know, those are the Ravnica lands that come into play tapped unless you pay 2 life. And then, the 10 of them come in different 2-color combinations. These are going to be available in the set, and they will have space themed art from what it sounds like. Don't know if they're going to get special border treatment or not, but that could be a driver for the set. Those lands tend to stay in the, I think right now they're all like 15 plus or so if you want to go pick them up for older formats. So having a set where these just get reprinted outright is pretty cool, and with alternate art is also neat, but they should be sought after pretty well. I don't know if they're going to be crazy valuable, but it could bring the shock lands down to like the $10 range, so they stay in that affordable slot for a lot of people, so that's also good. So yeah, I don't think there's anything bad about the product. I expect it to have a short print run because unsets don't sell as much as everything else. But yeah, we'll see how this goes over. Now there's a cool Magic art book, Planes of the Multiverse of Visual History, I believe is what the title was. And it's not something I would normally buy, but I do think this is pretty cool for people that are just getting into the game, introducing people to the game. It's apparently going to show the different planes, kind of the important people, the backstory of how they tie in. So it's kind of like, I don't know, the Cliff Notes versions of Magic is sort of what it sounds like, with some cool visuals and just laying out all the different places Magic has been. I think this almost feels to me like the best Magic, I guess if you want to call it, coffee table book so far that you can kind of like keep around. So whenever you're into it and people want to know what it is you do, what you're what you're into, I think it's kind of a cool thing to have available. So I'm kind of into this type of book. Normally, I would not be interested. I don't think I bought any of the other Magic books, really, but I would probably pick this one up. We talked about Universes Beyond, but really didn't find out much. We know that the Commander decks were going to be based around Space Marines. We know we get those, I think they said middle of next year. Not a real surprise there. We knew it was coming. We didn't really get to see anything other than some Space Marine art that's like slightly stylized, so it's closer to Magic style art. And the Lord of the Rings set, we know now is not even going to come out in 2022, which sounded like it might actually, originally was announced that it could be the summer set next year. Turns out that set's not going to come out until 2023. Secret Lairs. This is a thing that people are still bent out of shape about, but the reality is it hasn't hurt Magic so far, so let's just give it a rest, y'all. Secret Lairs are going to be a thing for a while going forward. Just get used to it. Secret Lairs. So we have Secret Lair Fortnite, which is not a thing for me. I don't play Fortnite. I have no tie to it. Alternate art Magic cards with Fortnite theme art. Fortnite's a super popular game. People play it. I get it. There will probably be Fortnite collectors who want some of the stuff that don't necessarily play Magic. So that's kind of cool too. So yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Not my jam, but cool, whatever. The other Secret Lair product they did talk about is Street Fighter. And that one's a little more interesting. They are going to actually use characters from Street Fighter to make the cards. So, we're going to get some... They did show a card of Chun-Li, which, cute, because I actually had the thought as they were saying it, Chun-Li will have multi-kicker, because why not, right? But yeah, this now, for people who are like, I don't want this to be a Walking Dead thing, they've already said, I believe it was a few months ago, that anytime they move forward doing something similar like that, the cards will be unique for, I think they said 6 to 8 months, and then they will appear in a regular set. So assume if you get a Chun-Li, there will be some regular legend that comes out in a set later that year that has the same mechanics. It will just have just a different name on it. And both cards will not be able to be played together. Well, you won't get to play 8 copies. You get 4 total copies between the two. So they will be mechanically the same card, just with a slightly title bar name difference like we did with the Godzilla cards in Ikoria. So nothing really to worry about. If you don't want the Street Fighter version, wait a couple months. You'll be able to get the regular ones. I think it would be kind of cool to have a Chun-Li card, so I'm kind of into this. There was a random product announcement from Pinfinity. So apparently if you're into collecting pins, you'll be able to get Magic the Gathering themed pins, some with the mana symbols. I think there was like a Dritz Duerden one and a couple others. Apparently you can sign up for a subscription, and they have random drawings for you to win booster boxes as well. So Not something I'm into, but cool that it exists for the people that collect pins. Then we talked about the sets that are coming for 2022. Q1, 2, 3, 4, like we normally do, which is interesting because I thought they might be moving the dates, having that extra Innistrad set at the end of the year, but turns out that's not the case. And we're not adding a fifth set next year, so I don't know what happened. We just decided 2021 was going to be different. Maybe because I didn't have a fall or winter set this time planned. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, we talked about Kamigawa Neon Genesis. Actually, no, I said that wrong. It's Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. There you go. I had to check my notes because, again, there was a pile of stuff. Yeah, this is kind of neat. I think it's something we already knew. They had registered some stuff. You know, people keep eyes on all this stuff, but they'd already registered that name a while ago. We kind of got a glimpse at what we thought some of the artwork was going to be, but this is basically Kamigawa 2,000 years in the future. So, according to them, they took kind of the cool parts of Kamigawa and then they built on them and made new things. Don't know if that means cool mechanics coming back like ninjutsu, but it sounded like they said all original mechanics, and I don't know if that was just my interpretation of what was said. But if so, we won't be seeing any of that, but who knows? Looks really cool, very fantasy, high, like cyberpunk driven, so that's really neat. But yeah, if you're into Kamigawa, maybe this will check those boxes for you. Streets of New Capenna. That is the second set next year, and it's supposed to have a mob boss theme. So organized crime sort of a thing. You will have 5 families, 3 different color shards, or 5 different color shards, 3 colors each. So it could be kind of neat. I don't know where that's going to go. I think it could be cool. I'm kind of into it. I don't know if like the boss theme really matters to me, but it sounds neat and it's cool. It's something different we've not done with Magic. And supposedly it has a tie to Elspeth. Not sure how, but they did mention that. So if you're an Elspeth fan, keep your eyes peeled. Dominaria United. I was torn on this announcement because one, it's the 30th anniversary of Magic. It makes sense. Sure, if we're going to do anything, it should be a Dominaria set. Downside is we just did Dominaria, what, 3 years ago? And that's a little meh. You know, it rotated out of standard 2 years ago. So I'm not super excited about it, but I do get it. It's kind of the centerpiece of Magic and the Magic multiverse. So yeah, I'm cool with it existing. It's neat. Don't know how the theme's going to work out compared to what we just saw with Dominaria, but I don't have a problem. I think it's fine. I think players are going to enjoy it. It's easy also to do mechanics for Kamigawa. So yeah, I mean for Kamigawa. Man, it's such a long announcement. I got so many things mixed up. For Dominaria, sorry. But yeah, I think it'll be fine. Not really much to say otherwise until we know more details. Now, the one that got the biggest reaction was the Brothers War. That will be the last set for next year, or at least the Q4 set, standard release for next year. For those who don't know, this involves Urza and Mishra. You've probably seen them referenced on several Magic cards over the years. We did originally talk about them even early on in Antiquities, where basically that was the discovery of the war and the machines they left behind and stuff like that. Well, now we're going to get to tell the story of we kind of actively go through the story of the Brothers War and how they hated each other and how much they went after each other. The downside is that's going to be full of artifacts, I assume, because they're both artificers, but that's going to appeal to a lot of people, so it's kind of cool. This is a story that we've known about in Magic since practically the beginning. So this is, 20, we'll say 20 through, I don't know, 25, 27 years in the making. So yeah, it's kind of cool that we're going to get to have this. This is pretty neat. I think this is going to appeal to a lot of players. I think there's going to be a lot of appeal here. So cool way to end the year as far as standard releases go. Then we got a peek at some cool Ultra Pro items. There was a neat little dice bag that apparently a character that appears in the set for Kamigawa. So that's kind of cool. Don't know what it is or what it does. It looks neat, but then followed that up with a cool looking playmat, which has some very stylized art. So if that's what the Kamigawa stuff looks like, could be pretty cool. And then finally the Netflix show, which is coming out late or second half of next year, they said. And I think this is cool. Everybody sort of wanted to know about it. They said that all the voice recordings have been done. The audio, I guess they're just finishing up animation on it. It will still be on Netflix. It's going to be based around Gideon and Jace for the bulk of the story, but that doesn't mean they will be the only characters, obviously. And Gideon is being voiced by Brandon Ruth. So if that name sounds familiar, he was Superman previously. So that's kind of sweet. And it turns out Superman apparently plays a lot of Magic and has been collecting for years. And he did a voice for one of the characters in Arena, which I was not aware of. So cool factoids, I guess. But yeah, kind of cool that we know that this is actually a thing that's coming and it's right around the corner. So that's very cool just to get that update. To me, that was probably the biggest news of the day. The other stuff we sort of knew was going to be business as usual, nothing really too surprising, but I think the biggest potential upside is if the Netflix series actually goes over well. So kind of cool to see that they're still moving forward, still with the plan they announced, I guess, what was that, like 4 years ago? So it's kind of neat that it's coming up. So yeah, Netflix animated series, end of 2022. Oh man, I think I took care of everything. That was a lot. I think I crammed this in a reasonable time frame. Hopefully that does not run on too long, but yeah, lots of cool news. Some stuff, again, I think I'm like all players. Some stuff that appealed to me, some that didn't. Some that I was excited about, some I didn't care about. But I think that's okay. I think that's what you should get over the course of a year. Like, there's so many different players, so many different player types, so many interests. I think it's very cool that there's a spread of products like that for everyone. So yeah, good job to all the presenters. I think it was solidly done, all things considered. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. What products are you looking forward to? What's coming out that you don't care about? If you hate a thing, why do you hate a thing? If you love a thing, why do you love a thing? I think this is the time, if there's going to ever be discussion in the comments, like this is a good one. I would recommend even coming by to my Discord. Links are down in the description below. Come by, chat it up. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussion around this stuff. And that works better than really the comment section in a YouTube video anyway, for such long discussions like some of this stuff is going to have. Also, please remember, check my links out. Follow me on all my stuff. And that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.